But every 10 years, Arkansas and the whole country goes through the process of making sure all their congressional districts, 4 of them here in this state, are fairly represented. But there's a lot of info and ideas out there for this next round of redistricting. THV 11's Ian Russell breaks down what you need to know about the process.
Let's talk congressional redistricting. This is a map of Arkansas's current 4 districts. Some counties are split up, and then there are districts that go deeper into other parts of other districts. Now, this map was made 10 years ago after the last census, so it's time for a new one. These are just 2 proposed maps from a Republican senator and a Democratic representative. Senator Bart Hester says he tried to keep as many counties whole as possible until you get to Pulaski County, which is split into 3. Now, the Democrats' proposal, created by Representative Reginald Murdoch, has no splits. All counties are intact. But you might be asking yourself, who cares? Who needs to know this? Well, you do, because no matter what map is chosen, it affects you and how issues you care about are represented.
You know, it's one vote, one person, and that person should be represented, their ideals, their thoughts, their community, and it's very important that that happens at the highest level.
As legislators get to work on how the state should be represented, one thing is clear: there is no perfect fit.
No matter what map is put forward, people are going to argue and say they got problems with it this way or that way. But I go back to this point: there's almost no map that can be drawn that we're not going to have 4 Republican congressmen.
Maps from both legislators were brought up and debated. They're designed to include as close to 1/4 of the state's population as possible, but that doesn't always happen.
This map on the 3rd district, we're almost 1% less than we should, so it's 745, 997.
And there's always concern that the other side of the aisle is trying to help themselves, or how it's more commonly known, gerrymandering.
You can say, hey, something fishy was going on there gerrymandering 10 years ago, but my map is like 4 blocks. It's real simple. It's very, very hard to use any logic and argue that we're gerrymandering in any way.
The core issue here is representation. Several people spoke in favor of certain maps that they believe fairly represent all communities. And Representative Murdoch says when you focus on people, that makes this easier.
When you're doing it with the mindset of just the basic way that you should do something without a bias, without something that will give an advantage to one side or the other, then it makes it easier to sit down and do what you're doing, whatever you're tasked to do.
All right, Ian joins us now, and we've gotten some of these proposals. We got a general idea of where they stand. What's next for all this?
Well, you know, really, this isn't a quick process, obviously. Legislators already met once earlier this week, and they're going to have to meet once again next week coming up. But they really want to make sure they got a really good grasp on each of these maps that were brought up before, you know, they go ahead and move into anything else with this.
And from the proposals that are out there now, I guess there's about 7 at this point, have you been able to see whether there's a front runner at this point?
You know, I think it's kind of hard to say if there actually is a specific front runner just yet, but I would go ahead and say that Senator Hester's is definitely one that got the most attention because it goes ahead and it splits Pulaski County into 3 different districts. But again, I really think we're going to have to wait until next week to get a much clearer picture on that.
Definitely controversial, taking Little Rock basically and splitting it up into pieces. All right, Ian, thanks so much.